Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Atlantic City, Blanchfield versus Fiorot. I'm fucking so happy to say an Apex card. Holy shit. I've never been happier to not see a fucking Apex card because fuck the Apex. A real fight night with a great main event, good co-main event, solid rest of the card. Oh, in an arena, not the fucking Apex. Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's gonna be a fun fucking card. Thank God. We get at least it's a 1 week break to an Apex card, and then next week we go back, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So, but yeah, I'm so happy we're out to fucking Apex, the worst place on earth, and we had a good card. So, enough rambling. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of 2024. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, you want to break down some fights? I do. So, let's do it. 14 fights in total, and we begin the night with one of the two worst fights of the night. The good thing, the two worst fights of the night are opening the card, so I'm okay with that. At the beginning of the night in the bantamweight division, between Angel Pacheco versus Caolán the Don Loughran, however you say it. Yeah, this fight's fucking terrible. I'm not gonna try and talk on this one too much, because again, it's fucking terrible. So, let's talk about Pacheco. Pacheco is making his UFC debut, coming out to Contender Series, where he really only got a contract because he got his fucking ass beat by Danny Silva. Why he got a contract for getting beat up, I don't know. It was a good fight, but he got his ass beat, so whatever. He looked okay against Danny Silva, but he did not look like he was a UFC level fighter. And now he's fighting Caolán Loughran, so he's gonna step down in competition. Yeah, Angel, the only thing Angel really showed me in that Contender Series fight was his toughness. He's tough as shit, but I've seen nothing else. Like, he is 32 years old, 32 years old at bantamweight, and a great sign for a debuting fighter. There you go, New England Cartel, that's a good camp. 4 KOs, 3 submissions, so he's never won a fight that goes 15 minutes, which I guess is good and bad. And, yeah, I'll tell Danny Silva, this dude has fought fucking nobody. Holy shit, could he fight any less? Fucking, like, Jesus. Yeah, I got really little to say about Angel. Like I said, all I remember from his Contender Series fight, that it was a good fight, but all he did was get his ass beat. So, maybe he'll be able to show something in his debut here. A big chance. Got a contract for really no reason. So, for toughness, which I think is fucking stupid, but Dana's gonna Dana, and maybe he sees something in this kid. I don't. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see. To talk about his opponent, Caolán Loughran. Caolán is 0-1 in the UFC. In his UFC debut last year, he debuted against Taylor Lapilus and lost, and now he's here. I don't like Caolán. I think he's a cocky little prick for not being that good. He's another Cage Warriors fraud, just like so many at this point. Patty Pimple, anyone. Like, I'll give him this. He did have a really tough debut. Taylor Lapilus for a debut is tough, and especially when he's meant to fight someone completely different. But still, he did not look good against Lapilus, and yeah, I don't like the kid. I think he's an ego-filled little prick. So, he's not even good. Like I said, you want a Cage Warriors belt. As the more time passes and the more shitty fighters would come over from Cage Warriors, that belt gets less and less important. So, yeah, Caolán the wrestler, and that's about it. Right, he is a wrestler. I remember him shooting out takedowns against Lapilus. Maybe I'm stupid, but I swear I remember him being more of a wrestler, but maybe he's a striker. He's not a good one at that. So, where does he train? Oh, he doesn't go to fucking, where does Connor train? Fucking, wherever. yeah, I don't got much to say about Caolán. I don't think the kid's that good. I think he's a prick, and they're giving him a fucking cherry-picked opponent here. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Caolán minus 345 to plus 270. I'd move that down a small bit because I think those are kind of crazy odds. I would probably move... I think Caolán should probably be about minus... I think 210, 220. He's most likely going to win this fight. Pacheco didn't show anything interesting in his Contender Series fight. I was not impressed with him. And, like, in this fight, he's way older. He's 2 inches taller with 2-inch reach advantage, but he's also... If he's a normal bantamweight, then I won't even bring up him making the cut. No, he's not even a fucking normal bantamweight. Oh, fuck. This is gonna go bad. Christ. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I think this is can versus can. I don't think either are that good. And yeah, Caolán's gonna win. I might put my pick in as Pacheco for the fun of it, because fuck Caolán. But I don't know, I guess we'll see. Yeah, Caolán's gonna win. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And that's all I gotta say on this fight. I'll probably put my pick in as Pacheco, but Caolán's gonna win. So, shitty fight, probably going 15 minutes. After that, we had to another shit fight, and the last of the shit fights. The last of the shit fights, as in our second fight of the night, we had to middleweight weight class that I think has a couple fights tonight, as we have Andre Petroski versus Jacob Mamba Malkoun. Shitty fight. Another shitty fight. Like, I can't really say much else. Let's talk about Andre Petroski. Petroski in the UFC is 5-1. His 5 wins are Michael Gilmore, Hu Yazong, Nick Maximov, Wellington Turman, and GM3. His one loss was to Michel Pereira. Long story short, Petroski, he's a complete wrestler. He has no striking. His chin is very weak, and his cardio is not good. So, anything else I need to say? Petroski has shown some potential over time, but he's just fucking, like, in these first 3 fights, he looked amazing. And then he fights Wellington Turman, he dominates him, but he was on top of him for most of the fight. And then he had a really close fight of GM3 that most people don't even think he won. And then he gets flatlined by Pierre in a minute, so... Like, he has no striking, he has, very lackluster striking. His chin's never been strong. His cardio sucks, and he's a wrestler, and he's a decent wrestler. But that's about it. Like, he's not like that. He has no... I thought he was wrestling, and I guess his submissions, he has, like, nothing to worry about, especially on the feet. So, his takedown entries are fine, if I recall. So, but, yeah, I've never, like, he's definitely had a skid in his last few fights of just performances. Even if he did win, he definitely had a skid. And this is a real good opportunity for him to bounce back. So I guess we'll see if he can. We'll see. They gave him a very shitty opponent, so we'll see. To talk about that shitty opponent, Jacob Malkoun. He's only here because he's friends with Robert Whittaker. Malkoun in the UFC is 3-3. His 3 wins: Abdul Razak Al Hassan, AJ Dobson, and Nick Maximov. And his 3 losses are Phil Hawes, Brendan Allen, and Cody Brundage. Brundage gets a giant asterisk because Malkoun's a fucking idiot, and he elbowed Brundage in the back of the head, even though Brundage did completely go full actor mode and act like he got fucking shot. You still hit him in the back of the head, you fucking idiot. So, yeah. So really he should probably be 4-2, because he would have beat Brundage, but... that's how the cookie crumbles. Yeah, Malkoun's terrible. He's literally only here because he's friends with Robert Whittaker. Like, he goes to the same gym as Whittaker. That's the only reason he's here. Like, you think I'm lying. If Izzy gets Blood Diamond, Whittaker gets Jacob Malkoun. He is a fuck. I'm not nepotism. I don't think is what you'd call it, but yeah, he sucks. He's fucking terrible. His striking is terrible. He has no killer instinct. Like, that dude. Like, Nick Maximov had like one leg half that fight and he couldn't finish him. So all he wants to do is lay on you. At least Petroski will go for ground and pound and shit. Malkoun would just lay on you. And he's a fucking bum. He sucks. So he'll if he can get you to the ground, his perfect fight is getting you to the ground, landing enough shots to not get stood up, and getting a decision. That's it. It's simple and bullshit and boring. So I don't like Malkoun, especially since again he's only here because who he trains with, and it just look at he got in the UFC off of 4-0 start. Thank God Phil Hoff fucking flatlined him. Still won. I love that fight. So yeah, Malkoun sucks. He's a shittier version of Petroski in my opinion. So yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Jacob Malkoun minus 210 to plus 170. No, I would have this probably a pick'em. They both suck. You gotta break this fight down in ways. If this does turn into a striking match, since these are both wrestlers, who's a better striker? That's a tough question, because both suck. Petroski is much taller. Who's a better striker? I don't know. I think Petroski has a weaker chin, but Malkoun's not going to throw any big shots. So I don't think that's a worry. Who's better on the ground? Probably Petroski when he's not tired, but you gotta factor that in. Petroski has a shitty gas tank. So there's a lot of factors to this fight. Kicks, I guess, could be a big thing. I think Malkoun throws more kicks, if I remember correctly, but is that really going to be a big fucking thing? Like, I just don't, neither of these guys are that good, and it's a good matchup if you want to see how these two do against someone who fights like they do, when they fight someone that fights like themselves. But as a fan standpoint, either this is going to be a sloppy, shitty striking match, or this is going to be fucking a boring wrestling match. Like, most likely, there's a good chance this is just like Petroski and GM3, because that was a lot of like, Malkoun's just a shittier GM3, shitty striking, but I don't think Petroski's going to get hurt on the feet here. So, I'm going to go with Petroski. He's bigger, he's more experienced, I think he's better, and I think he'll be able to get back on track here. So, I'm gonna go Andre Petroski because fuck Malkoun, and I don't like either. I don't want to pick either. I don't trust either. I can trust Petroski more. I think he's better on the feet. If he can at least bag the first 2 rounds and then survive round 3, because he's gonna be gassed by that point, then he got the W because he's not gonna get finished by Jacob Malkoun. So yeah, I'm gonna go Petroski. Fuck it. Let's hope I'm right. If not, we're in for a boring fight. Andre Petroski by decision. After that, we had to our third fight of the night, and the first good fight of the night, and a really good fight at that, as we had 2 women's flyweight for a really fun fight between Melissa Gatto versus Victoria Dudakova. A very underrated, very fun fight between 2 really great prospects. I can't wait for it. So let's break it down. Well, I'll start with Melissa Gatto. Gatto in the UFC is 2-2. Her 2 wins are Victoria Leonardo and Sijara Eubanks. Her 2 losses are Tracy Cortez and Ariane Lipski. Gatto's really good, but she's already had a skid as of late. Like, her UFC career, 2 really good wins back-to-back, looked great. Then she fought Tracy Cortez. It was a close fight, but she did lose. Cortez was able to be the better, stronger fighter. And plus, even if it wasn't a close fight, I would give it to Cortez. Or if it was a close fight, I meant. And then against Lipski, she just looked really bad. Like, Lipsky was just able to be better everywhere. She's better. Fuck English. She was better on the feet, better on the ground, and I don't really know how they got split. If I remember correctly, I thought Lipsky won that fight pretty clearly. Yeah, but that, like, Gatto's a good fighter that's just hit a really bad string of luck. She's fought the two fighters she's lost to are ranked in the top fucking 15. Cortez is 11th and Lipsky's like 13th. It's not like she's losing to Fajar Eubanks and shit. She beat those fighters. So it's good to see she is getting a step down in competition, even if it's barely, because who she's fighting is again really good. But I think she needs to step down, not such a big fight, and go from there. If she were to lose this fight, does she get cut? I don't think she should be yet. A fighter of her ability and who she's lost to, I don't think she should get cut. 28 years old. Unless she would have to look just fucking terrible in this fight. Get 30-24, which is not gonna fucking happen. So, Gatto's very good. Her kicks are really good. Her front teeth kick, what put down Eubanks, is a very nice kick. And she's just a really solid fighter overall. Her ground game is alright, but it definitely has much to be desired, and it's definitely not the path to victory here. But I'm pretty sure she has the reach advantage. Yeah, she has a 2-inch reach advantage. They're the same height. Interesting. But yeah, Gatto's good. She really does need this win, because I could see the UFC cutting her if she lost. I don't think they should, but it's the UFC. I put nothing past them, so I guess we'll see what happens. To talk about her opponent, Victoria Dudakova, who is actually moving up from strawweight to flyweight in this fight, which I find very intriguing. She is undefeated in UFC, 2-0, coming off the Contender Series. In her 2 UFC fights, she has beat Estela Nunes, quote, and Jinyu Fry. Really, she's 1-0-1, because Estela Nunes, she fucking went in to take her down, knocked her down. Nunes fell on her arm, broke it. Bada boom. So really 1-0-1. But yeah, whatever. She's gonna beat Nunes anyway, so it's not like it was some bullshit like a Tom Aspinall Curtis Blades. So, but yeah, in her really only UFC fight against Jinyu Fry, she looked really good. And actually, it was her striking which looked really good. Dudakova was good. Dudakova was really good. She already seems to be rounding out her skill set very well, and she's only 25 years old. Being able to really look decent. I know it was against Jinyu Fry, but still, her striking did look really good. Her ground game, we already know, is really good from the Contender Series. And she fucking fought that fight with a staph infection. Let's see how she fights when she's 100% ready to go. And up a weight class now, she's not cutting so much weight, which I get why she's moving up, even though I'm pretty sure she said she only missed weight because she was dealing with that staph infection, so I guess we'll see if 10 more pounds is good for Dudakova, and if so, she could be a real issue at flyweight, because she is talented. 25 years old, and to have the skill set she already has is very impressive. So she's very well-rounded, and she's gonna need to show a well-rounded game to win this fight, in my opinion. So yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Melissa Gatto -160 to +135. I have no idea how. Like, I like Gatto, she's very good, but how could you look at their records as of late and their fights as of late and say Gatto should be the favorite? Like, I get Gatto has only lost to Lipsky and Cortez, but she still lost, and she didn't look good against Lipsky. So, I would have Dudakova probably minus a small favorite, like 130, 140 at most. I think Dudakova should be able to win this fight. She is, like, the age for fucking 20-year-olds, I don't think it's a fucking issue. But she is riding high, undefeated, moving up the weight class. Gatto back against the wall, kind of needing this fucking win. And then if we break down who's better on the feet, that's a tough question. They're both really good on the feet. I think Gatto might take it on the feet because I think her kicks are a little better. But overall, I think is very competitive on the feet, but then you gotta go to the ground game. I think Dudakova is better on the ground. And up with 10 more pounds, not being fucking, not fucking killing herself to make straw weight, I think could really help her here. So, I think I'm gonna go Victoria Dudakova here. I'm a fan of both. I hate to see either one lose, but that's the fight business. And I'm going to go with Victoria Dudakova. I think she'll keep her O here. I think she should be able to mix in the striking and grappling very well. And she should be able to get her second real UFC win. So, I'm going Victoria Dudakova by decision. I guess we'll see. I'm very, very interested to see what happens. Dudakova by decision. After that, we head to our fourth fight of the night in the light heavyweight division. A rematch, which I fucking forgot was a rematch until I looked earlier today. And then our fourth fight of the night in the light heavyweight division, we have Ibo, the last Ottoman, Aslan versus Anton, the Pleasure Man, Turkalj. Yeah, this is a rematch from a few years ago, in 2020. So we'll see if 4 years has changed much. So let's start with talking about the debuting fighter, Ibo Aslan. Ibo again is making his UFC debut, coming out of the Contender Series where he looked great. Quick first round knockout. Yeah, this dude looks good. Lot of power. Like the one problem is his gas tank. The longest fight he's won, like all his fights have ended within the first 3 rounds, and most of them are in round 1, and he lost to Anton because he did gas out, so that definitely is an interesting thing to consider, and he is a fucking giant dude, he is a fucking giant motherfucker, so it's the same thing we've talked about Paulo Costa every fucking fight, and a bunch of these guys, yeah, it's cool to be giant and all that, but you're gonna kill your fucking gas tank, especially throwing power like they do, and that's what happened to Ibo in this fight, and that's why he lost. So if he has learned from that, which I guarantee you he has, he's now 4-0 since that fight, he should be able to win this fight, so easily, so, but you never know, because, again, his opponent is the only guy to ever beat him, and that's, of course, Anton Turkalj, who is 0-3 in the UFC coming off Contender Series, which I should not even say that, because he didn't even get a contract, but, to talk about Anton for a second, this dude's fucking terrible. He's 0-3 in the UFC, and I'll fucking look past the Jael Almeida fight. It was short notice, he had no chance. Vitor Petrino, he actually looked okay in that fight. He gave Vitor the hardest fight of his career so far, but it seems like more and more time passed, that was an off night, Petrino. And then you got flatlined by Tyson Pedro. You fucking suck. Yeah, Anton just ain't UFC level. His chin sucks, his cardio sucks, he's not a good fighter, he's shown nothing in UFC that impressive. Again, when your career highlight so far is not getting crushed by Vitor Petrino like everyone else, then man, you're doing great. Anton, Pedro was his chance to get a win. Getting flatlined in that just shows he sucks. Because, dude, he should have been easily able to not gas out and or not get knocked out and gas Pedro out and win. But, no. So, get KO'd in 2 minutes. So, yeah, I don't know. Anton sucks, and he's just not a UFC level fighter. So, this is no question his last chance in the UFC if he does lose, because how could you give a guy? I'm shocked I feel like Ibo getting a contract is the only reason Anton's in the UFC right now. So yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Ibo minus 125 to plus 105. Would I move that up a little? I'd probably move that up to 150. Ibo should win this. I think there's 4 people you can call a lock on this card. I think Ibo's one of them. How do you not win this fight? Just knock it. Just do what fucking Tyson Pedro did. You're better than Tyson Pedro, which ain't saying much. Like, he should easily be able to just run through Anton. If he fucking loses this, dude, he fucking sucks. So, yeah, and like I said, if he can just finish it early and not gas, or let's say it does go later into the fight, what if he's actually trained his cardio, got better cardio, or just learned in general to not gas himself? You never know. Anton, we know, is a shitty fighter. He ain't gonna get better. He's just Anton. This is all about how Ebo fights. If Ebo fights good and gets a knockout, then yeah, he won. If Ebo fights like shit and fucking gets subbed, then yeah, Anton didn't fight good. Ebo just fought like shit. So, yeah, I'm going Ebo, of course. He's gonna win this fight. And I'm gonna say he knocks him out in the first round, of course. If round 1 starts going later, 4-minute mark, end of round 1, I'm gonna be sweating bullets. But I don't think we're gonna get that far. So, I think Ebo's gonna be pissed off, wanting to get revenge, and send Anton out to UFC. So, I'm going Ebo, Aslan by knockout in the first. I don't gas. What's the height and all that? Anton's an inch taller with an inch. Okay. Yeah, Ebo should win. Knockout in the first. Not much else to say. One of 4 locks on the card. One of 4 people you can call lock on this card. Of course, I only have 1 lock on the card. But Ebo's definitely a guy I did consider picking. So, yeah, not very much else to say. Ebo by knockout in the first. After that, we had to our 5th fight of the night in the featherweight division. Pretty much a contender series fight. Not a good one at that. As in our 5th fight of the night, we have Connor the Controller Matthews versus Dennis the Great Buzukja. Yeah, this is just pretty much a contender series fight in my eyes. So, not even a good one at that. So, let's talk about Connor Matthews. Connor is making his UFC debut, coming off contender series, where at first he went in 2022 and lost to Francis Marshall, but then last year he came back, beat that guy, and got a contract. If I remember, he actually did look pretty good against Farias. He's one of those guys, just constant pressure, taking you down, shit like that. Yeah, he's alright. I don't think he's a great fighter, but he's alright. He can win some fights. But he's not exciting. Like I said, he's pretty much just walk you down, constant pressure. Wow, he won 4 fights in a row by rear naked choke. Yeah, he's not very great, but again, he's good enough to win some fights with how he fights, and we'll see how he does in the UFC debut, right? So, but his striking's alright, but all pretty much his ground game's his best weapon, so, yeah. To talk about his opponent, Dennis Buzukja. Dennis in the UFC is 0-2. He's not UFC level. I gave him 2 chances. I picked him in both his fights so far. He just ain't UFC level. And those losses to Sean Woodson and Jamall Emmers, 2 very good fighters, ain't bad people to lose to, but he didn't even look good in those fights. Sean Woodson picked him apart. Jamall Emmers smashed him in 49 seconds. He's just not good. He trained at a good gym, but he's not a good fighter. Same thing I said about what's that guy? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? That Charlapis guy who lost to Chad and Hellinger? And that dude goes to Ray Longo and all that. You can train with the best fighters in the fucking world. You're not gonna be as good as them, and you could train with fucking Sterling, Marab, Nazim, blah 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 all you want. Who are not, some of them are good fighters, some of them are not. The first 2 I named weren't. But you're not gonna be as good as him, and Buzukja shows that he's not very good. He just not shown anything positive in UFC. He has shit takedown defense. He got smashed in 49 seconds by Jamall Emmers, who we'll talk about later, and he's just not very good. So, this is his last chance. If he loses this, he's gonna get cut, so, I don't know, we'll see what he can do here. Maybe he can finally get a win, but I doubt it. I have my doubts. I really do. The betting odds for this fight have Dense Buzukja -125 to +105. I think the odds have got closer since, because I think this is from like the start of the week. I'm pretty sure they're about to pick them now. I think it's like Buzukja is like -115 or some shit, which I don't get it. I would have Connor Matthews -140. Connor should win this. Wrestle, just like he's a better wrestler. Buzukja hasn't. Sean Woodson was taking Buzukja down. What the fuck is Connor Matthews gonna do? And like even in the striking department, or is it that much of a fucking Buzukja is not a great striker. Matthews ain't a great striker. Like most likely Connor will just take him down, wrestle him for 15 minutes. I don't see how that doesn't happen. What's Buzukja gonna do? He's not gonna finish Matthews. He's not gonna submit Matthews. I doubt he's gonna win a decision. So I run Connor Matthews by decision. I don't really see this being a tough fight for him. I think he does his thing and gets Buzukja out there beats Buzukja pretty easily, probably 30-27. So I run Connor Matthews by decision. Not very much to say. Should be a pretty easy night for him. Connor Matthews by decision. After that, we had to our 6th fight of the night in the featherweight division, as we have Julio Arce versus Herbert the Blaze Burns. Another pretty easy fight to predict. This fight's definitely not a hard one to predict. So yeah, let's start by talking about Julio Arce. Arce in the UFC is 5-4. His 5 wins are Dan Ige, Daniel Tamer, Julio, Julian Erosa, Andre Ewell, and Daniel Santos. His 4 losses are Sherman Moraes, Hakeem Dawodu, Song Yadong, and Monto Jackson. He's alright, and he is moving up to featherweight. This is his first fight at featherweight, which does make sense. He is getting older, 34 years old, and so it doesn't make sense. 5'7". Why not move up to featherweight? What is this? Or does Ige? Oh no, he fought at featherweight before, but he's moving back up to featherweight. So he moved down to bantamweight for a little bit, went 2-2, and then moved. Going back, okay, my bad. Yeah, he went 2-2, but he had a tough fucking schedule at bantamweight. Fucking Song Yadong, Daniel Santos, and Monto Jackson back to back ain't easy. So, but he's taken a year and a half off after the Jackson fight. It was meant to fight Cody Garbrandt last year. That didn't happen. I think Cody pulled out. Oh no, Arce pulled out. And now he's going up a weight class to fight Herbert Burns. Yeah, Arce's always been like an average fighter. I've never thought he was that good. I've never thought he was a terrible fighter. He's just there. He's never been like some amazing fighter, but he's just Julio Arce. He's not like he can beat bad fighters like Andre Ewell and Daniel Tamer, but he's never gonna beat Song Yadong or Hakeem Dawodu. So yeah, Arce is Arce. He's getting older. So let's see what he can do heading back up to 45. To talk about his opponent, Herbert Burns. Herbert in UFC is 2-2. His 2 wins are Nate Landwehr and Evan Dunham. His 2 losses are Daniel Pineda and Bill Algeo. For his 2 wins, yeah, he smashed Nate Landwehr 4 years ago, and he beat Evan Dunham in 2020 for some fucking reason. But then he completely just quit versus Daniel Pineda, and then he completely quit against Bill Algeo. Like, if I had to explain Herbert's fighting style, it's a decent round 1, and then he instantly gasses and quits. Like, by the end of round 1, he's pretty much just mentally checked out. He's going to give up. That's what happened against Algeo. That's what happened against Pineda. The dude just quits. He's not a good fighter. Like, he ain't half the fighter his brother is. Gilbert Burns, obviously. He sucks. He's just like Jacob Malkoun. He's only here because he's either friends or related to. Like, this dude's fucking terrible. Like, he's a pro quitter. He fucking will just quit mid-fight. I've seen him do it back-to-back fights now, so yeah, he sucks. And he's been off for a while now. Yeah, a year and a half. Fucking 36 years old now. He sucks. This is probably his last UFC fight. So, yeah. The betting odds have Julio Arce minus 455, plus 150, plus 350. Yeah, I agree. Arce is the second of those 4 potential locks for this card. I don't see how he would lose this fight unless he gets caught in a submission, which I don't see why he would get caught in a submission. He should easily win this fight. Herbert's gonna gas himself in round 1 and quit in round 2. So, just don't get subbed in the first 3-4 minutes and he should win this easily. So, I'm going Julio Arce by knockout in the second. Should be a pretty easy win for Julio. Like I said, just don't get subbed in the first 2 minutes and he'll walk away for W here. So, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Julio Arce by knockout in the second. And probably more, knockout might be generous, it's more fucking Herbert Burns quitting in the second, so, if we want to be blunt about it, so, yeah, not much else to say. After that, we head to the co-main event of the prelims, as we have a pretty good fight in the women's strawweight division, a pretty big fight too, since we had the number 5th ranked fighter here. And in the co-main of the prelims, we have Virna Jandiroba versus Loopy Godinez. Very fun fight here, and again, a very big fight, since Jandiroba is, I'm 99% sure I checked, and she's ranked like 5th. So, big fight for Loopy, big fight for Jandiroba. Let's talk about it. Let's start with Jandiroba. Jandiroba in the UFC is 5-3. Her 5 wins are Mallory Martin, Felice Herring, Kanako Murata, Angela Hill, and Marina Rodriguez. Her 3 losses are Carla Esparza, Mackenzie Dern, and Amanda Ribas. Jandiroba is a very one-dimensional fighter, but she's been able to make it work. She wants to get you to the ground and sub you, and if she can't do that, she's gonna lose. Like, the only time she's in her 5 wins, I'm pretty sure the only time she won without doing that is Murata, I'm lying, because she broke Murata's arm, so never mind. Every one of her wins, she's got the opponent down and either submitted them or just kept them down. That's what she did against Marina Rodriguez last year. So, yeah, it's pretty simple, her game plan. And that's why when we see fighters, that's why the fighters that are good at stopping that game plan are your Mackenzie Derns and your Amanda Ribas. Like, in those fights, the Dern fight, they were striking for 15 minutes, because that's what happens, and Ribas beat Jandiroba on the ground. Like, I remember points in that fight where Ribas was just controlling Jandiroba on the ground, which, after last week, is really weird, really weird. Like, I guess the one bad thing you could say about Jandiroba is it is this fight. She lost a striking match to Mackenzie Dern. And I get it, 2 shitty strikers. By the way, if you've not seen this fight, go watch it, it's really good. But, like, you lost a striking match to Mackenzie Dern, who looks like a fucking amateur when she has to strike, so that's the one bad side. Jandiroba's striking is terrible. But yeah, if you're on the ground for her, you're gonna be sweating bullets, because at any moment, your arm's broken, or your neck's taken, or your leg's snapped, etc., etc. So, yeah, Jandiroba's good though. But again, another thing, she is 35 years old, and after being off for 10 months. So, we'll see what happens here. To talk about her opponent, Loopy Godinez. Loopy in the UFC is 7-3. I say she should be fucking 9-1, because the only fight she has really lost is Angela Hill, because she got robbed against Penne and Carolina, and then she beat Sylvia Gomez Suarez, Luma Lubumi, Cornellosi, Calvillo, Ducote, Reed, and Ricci. I think a lot of people have said this at this point, but I'll say that when Loopy's on fighting at her best, like we've seen in her last 4 fights. Well, no, in her last 2 fights, because these were not great performances. But in her last 2 fights, she can be a champion. Her striking is decent. Her ground game is fucking insane. Like, she's vicious. She's a vicious fucking fighter. And we, like, the Elise Reed fight, I think, is the best example of that. When she's on, she's fucking... Cornelowski also. Cornelowski and Reed are her two best performances overall, because she's just a monster. But then you get these random fights like fucking Ducati, or Luke Boomy, or Calvillo, where she doesn't look that... Like, she looks good and wins, but she could look... Like, Calvillo, she should have looked 1,000 times better than a close fight with Sincere Calvillo. So, a split, no less. And then, if we look at her last fight, Tabitha Ricci, that's a really interesting fight. It was a striking match, if I remember, for pretty much 15 minutes, and it was a close one, but I do think Loopy was able to be the better striker, which I get not wanting to go to the ground for Ricci, but I think she could have, like, especially later in the fight when Ricci was more tired, I think she could have went to the ground. But she gets determined into these striking matches like the Angela Hill fight, and that's why she's either loses or is in these close fights. So. But yeah, when Loopy's fighting her fight and doing her thing, she could be a top 5. She can be a top 5 or champion, in my opinion. Let's see if she can get into that top 5 this week. So yeah, Loopy is really, really, really good. The betting odds for this fight, I have Lupita Godinez minus 200 to plus 165. I think she's a bigger favorite by now. I'm not sure. Yeah, I agree. As I talked about before, when does Jandiroba lose? When she fights someone that can fight her on the ground, like Amanda Hebos, like Mackenzie Dern, like Loopy Godinez. So, Loopy should be able to either A, win on the feet, or B, probably be better on the ground, just be stronger. So, most likely she'll be able to just keep it on the feet and win like Dern did. I'd be shocked if she didn't do that. I don't know why you would go to the ground, because the only way Loopy loses this fight is getting submitted, which I doubt happens. So, just fight smart and get the win. So, other than Loopy Godinez by decision, I would be shocked if she does not just fight the smart route here and win. By decision on the feet, so yeah. Loopy Godinez by decision seems pretty safe if Loopy fights smart, so yeah, nothing else to say. And now time for the featured prelim, banger in the featherweight division. This is going to be really fun, and actually this is a short notice replacement, as we have to end off the prelims. Night to Train Landwehr versus Jamall Pretty Boy Emmers. Jamall Emmers is actually stepping in for Pat Sabatini. So, and I think Nate Landwehr even said, this is a better fight, so let's go. Yeah, this is gonna be a banger, and I'll show you why right now. Nate Landwehr never has a bad fight. So, yeah, let's talk about Night to Train. Nate in UFC is 4-3. His 4 wins: Darren Elkins, Ludovic Klein, David Onama, and Austin Lingo. His 3 losses are Herbert Burns, Julian Erosa, and Dan Ige. Nate's a weird fighter. When he's on, like in the Onama and Lingo fight, he's really good. But it seems like every time he, like, it just seems like he really does not show up at times. Like the Dan Ige fight, he just got picked apart. The Erosa fight, he got finished in a minute. Like, he seems like he's always been able to get to that fight that could boost him farther, but then he loses. So, but I don't even think he cares. I think he just cares about putting on a banger for the fans, which it's awesome, man. That's why we all love Night to Train. Anyone who doesn't love Night to Train is a weirdo. So, yeah, Landwehr, if Nate Landwehr is on the card, you're going to be watching, because he only has bangers. His fight with Onama could have easily been Fight of the Year in 2022, my bad. So, yeah, I can't wait to see Nate fight again, and let's have another banger, man. He's going in there to bang, man. To talk about the opponent, Jamall Emmers. Jamall is 3-3 in the UFC. His wins being Vince Cachiro, Kushin Ashkov, and Denis Buzukja. His 3 losses: Giga Chikadze, Pat Sabatini, and Jack Jenkins. He's decent. He's really seeming to hit a streak right now. Like, his last 3 performances have been really good. A lot of people say he should be on a 3-fight winning streak, because a lot of people say he beat Jack Jenkins. I think that's a very close fight. Could have won either way. But yeah, he is good. He definitely is hitting his own. At what, he's 34 years old. He's really coming into his own as a fighter, it seems. Like, coming off a 49-second knockout in MSG of Buzukja is impressive, and he's just been being able to show his abilities more. Like, against Ashkabov, he looked great. Against Jenkins, he actually looked really good in a fight he could have won. And then he looked flawless against Buzukja. It's a shame he missed weight, or he would have got a bonus. So, but yeah, Emmers is really good, really hitting his own right now, and let's see if he can continue a streak. The betting odds for this fight have Jamall Emmers -205 to +170. I think Emmers should be the favorite, but probably more 180, 190. Most likely Emmers will win this fight. He will probably be able to just fight smarter than Nate, which ain't saying much. But he'll probably just be able to fight smarter and get the win. I don't know. I'd be like, maybe Nate can bring him into it. There's a world where Nate could make Jamall fight his fight, which is a brawl, and Nate could win that. But most likely Emmers will be able to just fight his fight and win. So I'm gonna go Nate Landwehr out of pure bias, because I always pick Nate to train. But most likely Jamall Emmers is gonna win this fight. I'd be a little surprised if he didn't. So yeah, not really much else to say. Gonna be a banger. Let's go Nate to try and get that win. So those are the prelims. Really fun prelims. Like, after those first 2 fights, and this ain't great, but you have 5 really good fights after, but with that, and it's gonna be a fun prelims. But now we move on to the main card, which is also really good. 6 more fights to break down. Let's do it. And we begin in the welterweight division with a fight that's going to be really fun, as we have Chidi Bang Njokuani versus Rhys Skeletor McKee. This is going to be an interesting fight. This is going to be a really fun fight. Let's see what happens. Probably ending in a finish. And let's talk about Chidi and Njokuani. Chidi in the UFC is 2-3. His 2 wins are Marc-Andre Barriault and Dusko Todorovic. His 3 losses are Gregory Rodriguez, Albert Duraev, and Michael Oleksiejczuk. The interesting thing to note about this fight is Chidi is moving down to welterweight, back down to welterweight. I think he was at welterweight in Bellator. So that's really interesting to consider for a 35-year-old who said he did not, for words said he did not like fighting at welterweight. That's pretty interesting. What was his last fight at welterweight, I wonder? Catchweight. How many catchweight fights do you fucking have, dog? Like, well, there we go. I just don't think he's really a fucking welterweight. He's a big dude, and at 35 years old, making a cut that's really tough does not seem smart, especially when he's a quitter as a fighter. We saw him quit against Oleksiejczuk, and we saw him quit against Gregory Rodriguez, and then he didn't even show up against Duraev. So, like, Chidi is a very fun fighter, and his game plan is to get you out really quickly, like he did with Dusko and Barriault. But then you have guys like Rodriguez and Oleksiejczuk. When you got a guy like Gregory Rodriguez or Michael Oleksiejczuk, who you can't get out of there in 1 round that easily, you're kind of fucked. And Chidi was fucked when he couldn't do that, because Chidi gassed very quickly and he got finished. So I don't think moving down a weight class is gonna help that. I think he's gonna be even. His gas tank might be worse now. I think moving down to welterweight at this point in his career on a 3-fight losing streak after taking a lot of damage in his last few fights. I don't think that's smart. That just screams desperate. And especially when, again, he has said he does not like the welterweight cut. So, it's gonna be interesting. Maybe he can, like, maybe he's got the cut down now from when he did it back in Bellator, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Gonna be interesting. He needs this win. If he loses this, he's getting cut. So, let's see if Chidi can get the W. To talk about his opponent, Rhys McKee. Rhys in the UFC is 0-3. This is his second UFC stint. In his 3 UFC fights, he's lost to Khamzat Chimaev, Alex Morono, and Angelosa. Khamzat, sure. Khamzat and Morono you can't even get mad at. Then he got cut, and then he won 3 in a row, and then he fought Angelosa, and he didn't look bad in that fight. He showed a lot of heart. Like, how he did not get knocked out in round 2, I will never know. But the dude showed heart, and he did look decent in that fight, and now he's fighting Chidi. I don't think McKee's that good, but he can definitely win fights off of his toughness, and we almost saw him do it against Losa. We might see him do it here. So, it's very interesting. Like, is he gonna, like we saw Yusuf last week, is McKee gonna win his first UFC fight after getting cut before in the past? I guess we'll wait and see. So, yeah, this is a very favorable matchup for Rhys. He could win this very easily, and I wouldn't be shocked if he did. So, gonna be interesting. Gonna be really, really fucking interesting. The betting odds for this fight have Chidi and Njokuani minus 160 to plus 130. I don't see how. I would have this to pick 'em. I would love to see Chidi win this fight and get back on track. I just don't see it. Cutting down, if this was at middleweight, I could see it. But cutting down to welterweight after saying he does not like to on a 3-fight losing streak, having a shit gas tank, everything's against him right now. Rhys McKee, all he has to do to win this fight is not get KO'd in the first few minutes. If he could survive those first few minutes, there's a very good chance he wins this fight. And I would not be shocked if he did. McKee's tough, and if Losa didn't put him down in that second round, is Chidi going to in a round? I don't think so. So, I think the weigh-ins tomorrow will really say a lot about what's going on with Chidi. So, but fuck it, I'm gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna go for Rhys McKee. I want to pick Chidi so bad because I like Chidi, but I think his time is up. 35 years old, making a pretty much a desperation cut down to welterweight. I think it's about over for him. I'm going Rhys McKee by knockout in the second. I just survive and win. So, sorry Chidi, but it looks like your UFC career is pretty much over. Let's see if he actually gets finished, or does he just quit. So, I never thought I'd be picking Rhys McKee to win a fight, but I guess I am. Rhys McKee by TKO in a second. Maybe Chidi can land that one punch. I doubt it. Let's see what happens. McKee by knockout in a second. After that, we head to our second fight of the main card in the featherweight division, as we have a battle, a fight that could be really fun. Two dudes who we know how they're gonna fight, and with how they fight, it could be pretty fun. As we have Bill Senior Perfecto Algeo versus Kyle the Monster Nelson. This could be really fun. Let's talk about Billy Algeo. Algeo in the UFC is 5-3. His 5 wins are Spike Carlisle, Joe Anderson Brito, Herbert Burns, TJ Brown, and Anthony Hernandez. His 3 losses are Ricardo Ramos, and Andre Fili. Yeah, Algeo, like, he started the UFC run in a weird way. Short notice against Lama, beating Carlisle. The Brito wouldn't have aged perfectly. But ever since that fight, he's 3-1, could be 4-0. And he's looked great. He could easily be on a 5-fight winning streak. And he's looking really great. He looked great against TJ Brown. He looked really good against Alexander Hernandez. Smashed Herbert Burns. Had a banger with Andre Fili. Like, he's good. He's good at using his reach and distance. He can go to war. He can fight technical and have a war. So I think it's really useful to have a fighter who can do both like that. And it's very it's definitely a skill set you want to see from fighters. So yeah, and this is a pretty easy fight for Algeo, like, especially compared to who he's been fighting. To get Kyle Nelson after guys like Brito and Fili's, like, dude, this is a fucking layup. Even Hernandez. So yeah, this should be another win in the bank for Algeo, but you never know. We saw the other featherweight Billy lose a layup last week, so what does that tell you? To talk about his opponent, Kyle Nelson, a dude who I've never been impressed with because he sucks. Yeah, I've never been impressed with Kyle Nelson because, like I said, he sucks. He is 3-4-1 in the UFC. His 3 wins are Polo Reyes, Blake Builder, and Fernando Padilla. His 4 losses are Diego Fiera, Matt Siles, Billy Q, and Jai Herbert, and he did go have a draw of Duho Choi. Like, he's on a winning streak right now, but Blake Builder's terrible, and Padilla was a terrible fight and a questionable decision. So he's just not good. He's boring. He's not entertaining. He's not good. I just don't see anything good about this dude. He's like, every time he fights someone, like, he's only fought 2 good fighters and he lost to them, Billy and Diego. So I think Kyle Nelson sucks. I don't think anyone actually thinks this dude's good, and he's gonna go back to his losing ways. So yeah, not much else to say. The betting odds for this fight have Billy Algeo at -220 to +180. Yeah, Algeo should win this fight pretty easily. Much taller fighter, longer reach. Like, you could have him up to -250 probably. He should be able to just use his reach and fight really well. He probably could win on the ground if he really wanted to. So wherever Billy wants to win this fight, he'll probably win this fight. He's just a better fighter. So yeah, I'm going to Bill Algeo by decision. He should, like I said, he should be able to walk away for a W here. I would not be a little surprised if he didn't. So yeah, I'm going Bill Algeo by decision. Should be pretty easy. After that, we head to our third fight of the main card, another fight that should be pretty easy and could be pretty interesting. And we head back to middleweight again for a interesting fight between Nursulton Black Ruziboev versus Sedriques Dumas. Yeah, this is an interesting fight. It's probably going to end in a finish, and if it ends the way it should end in a fun finish. So let's talk about Nursulton Ruziboev. Nursulton in the UFC is undefeated, 1-0, coming in off a great debut, knocking out Bruno Ferreira in about a minute, in a little more than a minute. That little we saw of him in that fight, he looked good. And now he's back to prove it wasn't a fluke, because that's a big win. Flatlining Bruno Ferreira in your debut is impressive. So let's see if he can carry on. He's on a 9-fight winning streak, and he's a veteran, 33-8-2. Like, he's had a lot of fights, and he's only, 28? He's 30 with that many fights already? That's interesting. Like, I don't think he's fought anyone actually, like, known outside of Bruno in his debut. But he's been fighting for fucking ever, and again, he fights a lot, so it's sorry. Yeah, let's see if he improved. That wasn't a fluke against Bruno. Like, that's a pretty big win for your debut to go on and to extend your winning streak to 9. So, should be interesting to see if he can continue on that. Can he make it a 10-fight winning streak? That'd be impressive. And talk about his opponent, Sedriques, dumbass. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk much about this guy. He's a piece of shit. 2-1 in the UFC. He beat Cody Brundage and Abu Azaitar. He got beat by Josh Frem. Yeah, like, he's an alright fighter. He's not good. He's good. He's kind of bad, but he's just a shitty person. Like, I saw somebody got arrested like a week or like not even that long ago. So I'm shocked this fight's even still on. So yeah, fuck this guy. And it's just fucking what a piece of shit. The Sultan, you know what to do. But yeah, not very much else to say about this fight. The betting odds have the Sultan Ruziboev minus 270 to plus 220. You could put Ruziboev up to minus 350, I think. He should win this pretty easily. He's a much taller fighter, a much lengthier fighter. Well, I don't know, much lengthier, but he is a lengthy fighter. He's actually been in camp and focused on fighting, unlike dumbass. And yeah, I think Ruziboev is, he's the third guy in that of those 4 locks. I really don't see how he would lose this fight. On the ground, he should be able to not lose. On the feet, he should be able to win. He should just be able to be the better fighter here. So I'm gonna go into Sultan Ruziboev by knockout in the first. How many wins does he have in the first round? Ain't it a shit ton? 11, yeah, 20 submissions, lord. Yeah, the Sultan should be able to win this. Dumas ain't focused on fighting. He ain't a good fighter as is, and the Sultan should knock him out. So I'm going to Sultan Ruziboev by knockout in the first. Should be another quick night for Ruziboev. So yeah, Ruziboev by knockout in the first. Now we move on to a pretty sad fight, because this is just going to be sad to watch. Damn you, UFC. And then our fourth fight of the main card, we stay at middleweight for a fight that's somehow even less fair than the Dumas fight, as we have Bruno Dalado Silva versus Chris All-American Weidman. What the fuck is this, man? Why? Book this shit. What the fuck? Why do you hate these fucking old dudes? Why do these old dudes always have to be fed to these young fighters? It's fucking weird, man. Let's talk about Bruno Silva. Bruno in the UFC is 4-4. His 4 wins are Wellington Turman, Andrew Sanchez, Jordan Wright, and Brad Tavares. His 4 losses are Alex Pereira, GM3, Brennan Allen, and Shara Bullet. Outside the GM3 fight, all of his losses are very understandable. And that GM3 fight was just an off night, let's be honest. They have given Bruno Silva the fucking murderer's row. Alex Pereira, what? Brendan Allen, come on. Shara Bullet's debut, which he actually gave Shara Bullet a really good fight. Like this, they must really think this dude's that guy to keep giving him the hardest fights possible, and then he gets an easy fight. So I guess it makes up for it. Yeah, Bruno, when he's on, he's pretty good. He hits hard as a truck. He's a good striker, but his ground game's never been great. His cardio could be better, and yeah, his ground game's definitely his issue. But on the feet, when he's on and fighting at his best, he's a pretty good fighter. So yeah, but he is 34 years old, which I did not know he was that old already. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. But we know when Bruno's fighting at his best, he gave Alex Pereira a pretty good fight. So yeah, Bruno's good. Bruno's good. To talk about his opponent, Chris Weidman. I don't need to tell you about Chris Weidman. Oh yeah, like what do I gotta say, man? He should not be fighting. He's 40 years old with one good leg. Like, what the fuck is he doing in the cage? Fighting Bruno Silva, for fuck's sake. So, yeah, do I really need to, break down Chris Weidman? He's a one-legged fighter who just wants to wrestle you. Simple as that. Like, he looked alright with Brad DeFares at times, but he looked 40 years old for one good leg. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Bruno Silva minus 280 to plus 225. I would put Silva up to minus 400. I don't see him losing this fight. Like, he should be able to walk through Weidman. Leg kicks, land a big knockout punch, put him down. So, I don't think this is going to be like the GM3 fight. I really don't. So, yeah. I'm going with my lock for the night, which, yeah, Bruno is my lock for the night by knockout in the first. He should be able to chop down those legs quickly, put Weidman out, and walk with the W. So, well, Bruno Silva by knockout in the first should be a pretty easy night for him. And just, like, I don't even like calling him a lock, because I fucking hate this fight. It's just like, why? Why do this to Weidman? You can't give him fucking Trayshawn Gore or Cody Brundage, like someone shitty he actually could have a little bit of a chance against. You gotta give him Bruno Silva. What, were you gonna give him fucking Kyle Borrello next? Or, like, Jesus, man. Just like, damn, they don't care about these old dudes. They don't care how someone goes out. Bruno Silva by knockout in the first. Sad. After that, we had to our co-main event of the evening, a fight that's going to be very, very fun for as long as it lasts, as we head to welterweight for a battle between Vicente, the silent assassin, Luque, versus Joaquin Numansa Bukli. This was meant to be Vicente Luque versus Sean Brady in the main event of this card, funny enough, but Brady pulled out, Buckley stepped in. Now it's the 3-round co-main, as it should be. So, yeah, this will be a fun fight. I'll talk about Luque a little bit, even though I doubt I need to. 15-5 in UFC. We know what we're getting with Luque by now. Is he the same fighter he was? No, because he's taken enough damage to put someone down. But he was able to bounce back with a win over RDA, but it was boring. So, hopefully, knock on fucking wood, we can get the Luque who has bangers back. But, I have a bad feeling this could be the Luque we saw against RDA, who's fighting smart because he's had fucking brain bleed. So, if he has another boring fight, he's getting the Corey Sandhagen treatment. You're boring. I don't care what you've done in the past. 2 boring fights in a row, boring stamp of approval. Come on, Luque, come back to your normal form. Don't be boring. And then to talk about his opponent, Joe Quinton Buckley. Buckley is 7-4 in the UFC. Since moving down to welterweight, he is 2-0, knocking out Andre Fialho and beating Alex Morono. Buckley is a can crusher to an extent. I actually don't even think that's the right term for it. He looks good versus average or bad fighters. Like, just look at it. Like, let me just read you down his wins in UFC. Impa Kasanganay, Jordan Wright, Antonio Rojo, Abdulrazak Al-Hassan, Albert Duraev, Andre Fialho, and Alex Morono. His best win in the UFC is Alex fucking Morono. His next best win is what? Abdulrazak Al-Hassan? like, let's be honest, he's living off of this moment, beating a complete can, what happened, not very good, a complete fraud, yeah, he looked alright. Like, Buckley is always just like, and yeah, he lost to Alicio de Chirico. Like, I don't know, Buckley has always just come off as, he thinks he's better than he is. He fights better than he is half the time, which makes no sense, I know, but like, he's an okay fighter, but he's just not this, like, he's not the guy they would like you to believe, because he's, like, again, his bet, if he goes out here and flatlines Luque, he's shut me up. But as of right now, I just don't see it. I really don't see it. I think he has the ability to beat a ranked fighter and be ranked? No. If he had that ability, he would have done it by now. But I just really don't see him having that ability. He looks really good against okay or bad fighters. For as weak as Luque is at this point in his career, is he bad enough for Buckley to beat him? I don't know. Guess we'll see. The betting odds for this fight are pretty much a pick'em. They've been that pretty much all week, which I understand. I definitely understand. This is definitely a fight I don't want to touch if I was a bettor, and no one really should want to touch this fight. This could go either way. Buckley could flatline Luque. Luque could beat Buckley by a couple ways. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun fight. Probably going to be fight of the night. And I'm excited. What am I going with? I'm going to go Luque. I think he holds his spot. I think he's able to bring the fight to Buckley, have a fun fight. He might get dropped. He might get hurt. But I think Luque will be able to tough it out and get the win here. So I'm going for Sente Luque by decision. Should be a fun fight. And now, time for the main event of the evening. A fight I am so fucking excited for. When the year started, this was my third most hyped fight of the year. I cannot wait. As we have in our main event, cold-blooded Blanchfield versus Manon, the Beast, Fiorot, whatever. I cannot fucking wait for this fight. Two 6-0 fighters. The winner is getting a title shot, and Blanchfield should already be getting a title shot, to be honest. And I'm so happy this is getting the main event it deserves. Oh my god, I'm so fucking happy. I can't wait. I'm shocked I'm saying I can't wait for a fight night fight. I can't wait. Just as a fight, not even I'm biased for either one. It's just an amazing fight. And do I really have to break down these two? On one side you got Nursulton. We know what she's gonna do. She's gonna shoot on you and try and get you to the ground, because that's what she does. Her striking's getting better, but it's not quite there yet. And then on the other side, we got Manon Fiorot, who's a great striker. We've seen that in most of her fights, and she's looked really good in her fights. She's really gonna need to stop takedowns here, as Ern's really gonna need to get him. I know it's Aaron, fuck off. This is gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be a tale of who can establish their game plan, which I think you could say that for every MMA fight, but still. Either Blanchfield gets the takedowns or Manon keeps it standing. Whichever one happens is gonna be really interesting. Both might happen in the fight. We might see early Manon keeping it on the feet, winning, and then Ern starts taking her down. Vice versa. I don't know. I'm excited. This could go either way. And again, this is just, this is the best, non-title fight, women's fight, booked, I've seen in years. I don't know the last fight, the last no-title women's fight that was this good. This is so fucking good. Fuck. I'm sorry, we might be seeing these two rematch one day for the belt. They're that good. So, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's gonna suck to see one of them lose, but it's gonna happen, and whoever wins, that's gonna be a huge win for them. So, yeah. What do I think's gonna happen? Oh fuck. I think I'm going to lean with Ern Blanchfield. It's in New Jersey, where she is from. And I could see her. She's just so good. She's just so good. I think she's the best women's flyweight right now. And even if she's not right now, she will be. She's 24 years old. And she's this good already. Wait till she's 28, 29, 30. It's gonna be an issue. So, but I think she's ready now. So I'm gonna go for Ern Blanchfield. I think she's her. And if she can fucking get the win here, I think she beats Grasso or Valentina easily. I think this is a harder fight than Grasso or Valentina. I'm going Ern Blanchfield, but I could see it going either way, and I cannot fucking wait. And I don't agree with these betting odds. This should be a pick'em, I would say. Maybe if you want to be generous, Blanchfield could be like minus 130. But I even think that's a reach, because it's just this is just like high level MMA, and I cannot fucking wait. Oh, I can't fucking wait. But I think I'm going to lean with Aaron Blanchfield to win this fight I'm going to go decision. I think this could be a banger. I think if Aaron just says, fuck it, you want to strike, let's go, this could turn into a fucking classic. I cannot wait, so I'm going to go Aaron Blanchfield by decision. Let's see who takes their first L after 6 in a row. Can't wait. What a great fight. Boom. That's the card. To go over my picks one more time. Probably going to put in my pick at Angel Pacheco, because fuck Caolán. Andre Petroski by decision. Victoria Dudakova by decision. Ibo Aslan by knockout in the first. Connor Matthews by decision. Julio Arce by knockout in the second. Loopy Godinez by decision. Nate Landwehr by decision. Rhys McKee by knockout in the second. Bill Algeo by decision. Nursulton Ruziboev by knockout in the first. Bruno Silva, my lock of the night, by knockout in the first. Vicente Luque by decision. And Aaron Blanchfield by decision. Bang. Yes, I know a lot of decisions. Fuck off. Maybe I'll fucking change a pick or two before fight time. We'll see. But as of right now, those are my picks. That's what I'm feeling right now on Thursday. Going into Friday weigh-ins. A lot of interesting weigh-in things to happen, because we got 3 fighters changing weight classes. We have Dudakova, Arce, and Chidi. Chidi's the most interesting one. And you never know what's going to happen. So I cannot wait. This card's really fun from pretty much top to bottom. If you cut off these 2 garbage fights, you just got really good. And if you forget about this, you got fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bangers, and I cannot fucking wait. Thank God we're out of the Apex. Lord, thank you. I'm okay for an Apex card next week, just because we at least got 1 break. We didn't get 4 in a row leading into 300. I'm okay with that. I can't wait for this card. Can't fucking wait for that main event. And I can't wait to recap this card Sunday 1 p.m. EST, if when it will be going up. So, hopefully this card's good. Most likely going up. Let me rephrase that. Most likely, because this is another pay-per-view start time, which is annoying as shit. So, I'm gonna try, and since it's an Apex card, and I'll try really hard, unlike last week, to actually get this up. But you never know. I'm lazy and tired. I'm going to just record it on Sunday and put it up sometime. So, but I'm gonna try Sunday 1 p.m. EST. So, yeah. But yeah, I can't think of anything else to say besides I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs goal by the end of the year. And again, unless I'm going to say something, which I don't think I am. As always, RX out. Good vibes only and always.